All right, so today we're going to do notes on reflection, rotation, translation. I want to do that first because after that, we're going to practice rotations on a resource page. I want to make sure that we talk about rotations first. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to define what a reflection is. Okay, so reflection is a flip over a line of reflection and sometimes it looks like a mirror image. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to graph my original figure in blue, and then I'm going to reflect it in red and write the new coordinates here. So -1, 5, label that A, -4, 2, label that B, and -3, 5, label that C. Noah, go sit at the round table, please. Thank you. I'm not doing this all period. Go sit at the round table, please. Okay, yeah, so hold on. Okay, so first thing I want to do is mark this as my x-axis. And I want to make sure that I flip across the x. Do you guys want to use tracing paper for this or you want to count? Count? Okay, so, so B is 2 units away. So I'm going to make B prime 2 units away. C is 5 units away. And A is also 5 units away. Remember, you're always allowed to use tracing paper if you want to. It's totally fine. Last year in 8th grade, did you guys learn the rules for what to do with the coordinates for reflect over the x-axis? Did you guys learn a rule for it at all? It's okay if you didn't. I'm not sure. I'm literally curiously asking. You did. So you switched the sign of the y. Okay. I don't know why our book like sort of takes a step backward and kind of pretends that you've never seen this before, but that's okay. Do you guys have any questions about what I did here? Reflection wise, about the primes, about the coordinates, anything? Any questions at all? Do you need a minute to make sure your notebooks are correct before I move the page? Yeah. Okay. Here's the next bit. And after you finish this, if you like to use tracing paper for your rotation, find your tracing paper that I gave you the other day or grab another one from the table over here. Crocodile. Yes, please, go ahead. Okay, so once you get this situated, we're going to define rotation. A rotation is a turn around a fixed point, and in this class, it's usually, sorry, I can't spell all of a sudden. It's usually 0, 0. Okay, but underneath here, I want to draw little pictures. So that is clockwise. And that is counterclockwise. So what's clockwise and counterclockwise? So it sounds kind of almost the same. No, I mean like in Spanish. What is it?
Bueno. Sentido horario y en sentido antihorario.
So hard. So hard. I failed already. I have an F in whatever class that is. Can't do it. I'm just not, I don't have it. Okay, so same triangle. Negative 1, 5 is A. Negative 4, 2 is B. Negative 3, 5 is C. Okay, now I'm gonna do this one with tracing paper. You guys don't have to, but I want to talk about clockwise versus counterclockwise, and I want to talk about how to do this. Now, you guys should tell me. I'm hoping that you guys can tell me how you learned to do this. Some people can just turn their paper and like visualize it, but this is how I learned to do it. So I trace the triangle, and then I go to the origin and I put a little plus sign on it. So trace the triangle with tracing paper and then put a little plus sign on the origin. Oh, it's over here next to the calculators. Okay, and then what I learned to do was to figure out if it's clockwise or counterclockwise. And in this case, it's clockwise, which means that it's gonna go this way. And every 90 degrees is one turn. So I want my plus sign to line up with my plus sign. So 90 degrees is one turn. How'd you guys learn it? You just like, do you like turn your notebook? So you go like this, you go, okay, it's this, and then it will be here when I graph it. So then oh, so you make this, use the algebra rule. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna use this rule because I think it's easier for everybody. So I took this, and then 90 degrees means one turn. And so then the hard part is kind of like lining it up with the graph paper. Okay, and then I peel back the graph paper and mark the spots. So here, here, and here. So Evan, do you know do you remember the rule for 180? Well, you could experiment with rotating something 180 and see what happens to the coordinates. Okay, so A prime is now at 5, 1. Okay, so what Evan was saying was what you can do if you want to use the algebra rule, you can, it has to be 90 clockwise. If it's 90 clockwise, you can use this. So you flip these two around and then you change the sign of the second one. Flip them around and change the sign of the second one. But you don't have to do that. You can just use the tracing paper, make the shape, and then get the coordinates from it, which is what we usually do. Yep, always. Forever and ever. We're going to do a lot more rotations on our resource page in a minute. We just need to finish the translation part of this, which is actually the easiest part. And then we're going to practice a bunch of rotations. All right, you guys, if you're ready, head on to the translation part. We have one more to do, and then we're done with this. Hey. Yeah. 100%. No problem. Eli, can you bring Mr. Wilson his bathroom pass, please?
Well, I don't have one. I can give you a bit.
Is it in the bathroom?
I have.
Okay. So when you finish this, run over and just tell him real quick. So he's not thinking that you're ignoring him. Translations are my favorite. And then Evan, for this one, do you just -4 from the y's and add 6 to the x's? Well, is that what you do, or you just slide it?
And you should just, once I translate it, I just look at the graph.
Okay,
Sometimes I do,
it's not required, just
yeah.
love those. They're wonderfully easy. Okay, so after you're done with this, you can be done with your notebook. The notebook is done. What? The homework is in the ebook. So you might want to leave it out so you can work on your homework in a few minutes. But first, get out your packet when you're ready. After you finish this. Before we do number 38 together, we are going to do the 2 warm-ups we need to do. So find the warm-ups 5 and 6. Anybody still working on the notebook? Okay. Thanks, Jules. Do it right now. Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Warm-ups 5 and 6. Yeah, just hold on, wait. 5 and 6. 5 and 6. Cinco and 6. Ha. Oh, excuse me. Cinco y 6. Yeah, that's all I got. Like below kindergarten level over here. Okay. Jules, you good, honey? The notebook? Okay. Are you sure? Okay, so moving on to these. These are weird ones. Notice I had all 4 of these weird ones for the warm-ups. This one was, the slope was 1. There wasn't a number there, so we put a 1. This one, there wasn't anything for B, so we put a 0. Okay, now these 2 are weird. There's no mx on this one, and this one is x equals. When it's y equals a number, it's a horizontal line at y equals -5. Okay, so on your graph, find me y equals -5. So go to the y and go to the -5 and make a dot. And then horizontal. What? No, it's just a line. So it's just a graph. There's no like word answer for it. It's just a picture. Okay, and this one, when it's x equals, that's a vertical line at x equals 1. So go to where X is 1, which is right here. And draw a vertical line. So in these warm-ups, I tried to cover all of the possible weird scenarios you might find. Missing slope, missing y-intercept, just y equals number and x equals a number. You have to keep your eye out for those. Okay, now find the page for number 38, which has rotations on it. And some of you guys, if you're really, really good at this, you can start your homework. If you need to follow along with me, you can. I'm going to do these with tracing paper. So 45 to 50. Oh, what dear? I need to show you here. This will help. Okay, this is what we're doing today. We did our notes already. We did the warm-ups already. We need to do number 38, which is this rotations page with tracing paper. I'm going to use tracing paper. You don't have to. Homework is 45 to 50. And there's my joke. When somebody reminds teacher about homework. Patrick's in the. What is that called? The salty spittoon? Yeah. Salty spittoon. You know who would know? Jalen, can you just chat near him so he can tell us if it's the salty spittoon? Bye. It's the salty spittoon. It is, right? Sure it is. I'm just gonna trust myself. Okay. So I'm gonna take my piece of tracing paper. The good news is that it looks like they used the same shape a bunch of times, which is very helpful. I'm gonna trace this shape. Oh, excellent question. The dot that they gave us is going to be our origin. Okay, so what I mean by that is I traced the shape and then they gave us this dot right here. So you have to pretend that dot is the origin. Okay, and so I made my shape and then I put a little plus sign on that dot. Okay, now this says 180 degrees clockwise. So clockwise means that I'm going to turn my paper to the right. So I'm going to make a little arrow here that says I'm going to go to the right. And how many 90 degrees are in 180? 2. So I've got to go 2 turns. So I put my pencil in the plus sign. And I'm going to line it up once. That's 1 turn. And then line it up again. That's 2 turns. Every time the plus sign lines up, that counts as a turn. And then peel back the tracing paper. Whew, I broke 0.7 lid. I must be pushing down. See why I can't live in a land of 0.5 lid. Okay, when you're done with that, go back to the original shape here on the next one, but you're going to go the other way. So I'm going to make my arrow go to the left. 1 turn, 2 turns. What's the interesting thing that you notice? It's the same place. So when we have 180 degrees, does it really matter which direction we go? No, you're just gonna end up all the way on the other side anyway. All right, now I'm going to go to this kite looking deal. And I make a little plus sign where the dot is. And 90 degrees clockwise is to the right. And then for the next one, luckily enough, that thing is already traced. I'm gonna go the opposite direction to the left. Oh no, that's terrible. That's a bad line. That's a really bad line. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. It's really ugly. Yeah, are you done? Okay. How are we doing, you guys? Okay? Okay, now on E, how many turns should I go? 3. And which direction, left or right? Right. And where is it gonna end up? Well, hopefully, that would be good. Okay, so there's 1, 2. Great. That looks familiar. What do you know about a 270-degree rotation? Isn't it the same thing as 90, the opposite direction? Yeah. Isn't it the same thing as this one? Okay, this is kind of annoying, but the next 3, do I need to do them? No, because 360 is gonna bring it right back around to itself. What happens if I flip over the end? It's just end. And what happens if I turn a square? It's still a square. Kind of unsatisfying end to that. But that is now done, so you guys can work on 45 to 50 for the next 11 minutes. No, absolutely not. When you guys can stop messing